So, let me just give you a little tiny bit more information about our guest. Her name is Franca Adjei, and she's a Ghanaian who was introduced to her craft in her grandmother's workshop as a child. She spent a lot of time watching her grandmother infuse colors into her beading products. She's an award-winning accessory designer and a homeware designer. She creates accessories that help a woman's confidence. And like when you go onto their website and that this thing about women's confidence and these accessories boosting that is obviously a very important part of their vision. In her words, elegance and chic doesn't always mean silver and gold. It should also mean color. And so, welcome, Franca. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Arts Africa and to Africa Global Radio.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. How's your week been?
Relaxing. When you're in Ghana, you can't ever say hectic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much happening all around you. It's so much better to just sit and watch some of it. So, yeah, I can always say relaxing when I come to Ghana.
Okay, because you're based in the UK.
That's right.
Okay, so it's like you're on holiday.
Yeah, so it's not the same hustle and bustle that we're used to in the UK at all, no.
Okay,
no.
Okay. Well, I think maybe because you're not living here full time.
Maybe, because apparently I still walk faster than any Ghanaian on the street, so I stand out.
I walk really fast. I used to have people calling me soldier woman.
Oh, wow.
Because as far as I'm concerned, I need to get from A to B. I'm not interested in what's happening in the middle.
Exactly.
Let me just get, and I'm still like that, but hey. Okay, so, one of the thing I didn't dare try to mention your company's name.
It's called Phoenicia, like in the Bible, Phoenicia.
But the spelling, because it's like capital F, capital N, capital E, TIA. And I was like...
So my children are called Nubia and Egyptia. So I took a combination of our names and I did Franca, Nubia and Egyptia.
Typical West African, where you most of the time husband and wife's name, they'll slap it
together and yeah. But because my girls have got very unusual names,
Where did you pick those names from?
Those names are actually picked by my husband.
Okay.
We wanted the girls to have different names.
To be extra.
If you would say so.
Yeah. And what are the meanings behind those names?
Nubia was...
No, Nubia we understand. Yeah. The other one.
Egyptia is personification of my soul. So she absolutely personifies her father. So yes, he decided it was either going to just be Egypt, but it just sounded like everybody else has ever used Egypt, so we decided to add the shia on the end.
Okay. Because I know I have in the UK. I had a friend called Kenya, because Kenya is also another popular one.
Yeah.
And then I had a Zimbabwean friend called Naira. So it's not the same spelling as the Nigerian currency, but it's the same. It's the same spelling.
Yeah.
Nubia is nice.
Yes.
I also like it. Reminds you of things like mahogany and those.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first step in getting to know you, I think, what people read or the kind of writing that inspires them, gives a good idea of who they are. So we always like to ask our guests to bring something. Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of reading, I read anything and everything that I can.
Who's your favorite author?
I don't have one. I actually don't have one. I like if the book moves me, I'll read it. I mean, for a long time, I read Sidney Sheldon, and I absolutely loved Sidney Sheldon, but I couldn't get into any of his other books. I read just one book.
Oh, really?
Master of the Game, I think it was. Yeah, and that kind of moved me. If the book moves me, I'll read it. I don't I'm not loyal to a author.
Ooh.
So I like to try new things.
What African authors do you like? Or
I've
even say,
liked
or even say, yeah,
Chimamanda.
everybody likes
Yeah, I like
Chimamanda.
Chimamanda. I think I like her values.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wouldn't say I'm a feminist, but I do
You
believe
are a
in.
feminist. The moment you believe in good things for everybody,
Yeah,
you're a feminist.
yeah.
No, I mean seriously, women need to stop thinking that it's some sort of negative
Oh no, I
word.
don't think it's negative. When I say I'm not a feminist, I think I've probably not got myself to that level of thinking. I'm probably still learning a few things from various people.
I think if the moment you think everybody should have the same right and the same access to things and the same choices, you're a
You're a
feminist.
feminist, I guess. Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it.
Because ultimately that's all it's about. It's like the betterment, and I think the thing is, when the lives of women improve, the lives of everybody
Improves,
improves.
yeah.
When the lives of men improve, everybody gets trampled. But if women's lives are bettered, for instance, a woman gets promoted, gets a decent job, gets given good circumstances to work in, it'll benefit her husband, it benefits
So
the kids.
children, yeah.
The
Yeah.
man mostly will look after himself. And the rest of you can continue.
No comment.
However. Okay, so I see you've got two pieces here. When I saw the Margaret Thatcher, I really rolled my eyes.
Yeah.
I really rolled my eyes because she was like totally not feminist.
Yeah.
Okay, so fire away.
Two pieces.
Yeah, why did you choose these?
Those are my email. The quotes on my email.
Yeah.
Well, I think Margaret Thatcher was, yes, she was a Iron Lady for real, kind of thing. She was out there. She made it known that she was, not going to take any nonsense. And I like the quote of,
Yeah.
not following everybody else, doing your own thing.
We have a proverb. We have an African proverb that says, don't follow the path everyone set. Cut a new path for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that pretty much says the same thing, kind of thing. And it was something that I think, when you're I'm bringing up two girls. When you're bringing up girls, you have to start instilling a lot of these values in them from a very early age.
Feminist. You just don't want to use the word, but you're walking the walk.
I'm walking the walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of, it was just something that I had printed out, and they had it on their wall in their bedrooms for a really long time. And then as I started to, be a bit more email-y kind of person, I thought, well, it'd be nice to have some of these messages on email and stuff like that to inspire somebody. I tend to like a lot of quotes. I spend quite a bit of time reading various quotes and, sharing my quotes a lot of the time, because I feel like there's always somebody, especially during this COVID time, there's always someone out there who just needs to just read that. Just read it.
Needs to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, so for our listeners, it's you do not follow the crowd because you are afraid of being different. You decide what to do yourself. If necessary, you leave the crowd, but you never just follow. I think in life, the vast majority of people do have to follow. There's a certain percentage of people who are change makers, and they are the ones who do the path stuff.
Yeah.
But if you've got a little bit in you, I think, yeah. And then your next one is?
The next one was actually one that my brother told me. If you're going to do something, do it well. Don't think of anybody else. Just think about the fact that you're doing it for yourself, for God, and the way we were brought up in my house, we were brought up the Christian way. and it's just been something that has been instilled in us for many years. And it was amazing to see my younger brother, who, in this current society, you're not expecting young men to sort of like be on that path of God and doing it right necessarily as such, you see. But he was so focused. And I remember, if you see my brother's Bible from back to front, it just looks like something that he's had with him since he was a baby, because he knows that book inside out. It's colored, it's sticky noted, it's, kind of thing. And I said to him, how? Why? And he said, if you're going to do something, you might as well do the full hog. If I'm going to read it, I might as well read the whole hog and understand what I'm reading.
Yeah.
And he made that statement, and I was like, that's a very good statement.
Okay. And the statement is, the purpose of this job is for the perfect will of God. Therefore, pay no attention to what man expects and the whole fulfillment of man. Do it all to the according of God, so that when you have achieved your goal, the glory will belong to God.
That's right.
They need to be quoting this in every church every Saturday, instead of... am I lying?
Some of it. No comment.
You can't be doing
No
no commenting. You can't just be no commenting, no commenting. In fact, when you do no comment, it's like. Okay, so I find that really interesting that you don't have authors you like. Like, you could just read one book by somebody and just move on.
Yeah, I'm not. I can always. The only reason why I'm like that is because, when you're somebody who is creative, you have to be open to everything and every possibility. So, I'm looking at your top, and I'm inspired instantly.
I wore this because of you.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
And the funny thing was, I went to a sale a couple of years ago. This is the first time I've worn it. It's been sitting in my wardrobe.
I'm honored. Absolutely honored.
And I thought, color, sparkle. Yeah, let me also come and, show out a little over here.
I'm inspired. So if you see what my next piece is going to be, it will have picked up the color of your top. It would have picked up the leaves that are in your top. It would have picked up something from your necklace that you're wearing right now.
Yes.
So I'm inspired by so many.
Thank you. I've just realized I've got it on back to front.
So I automatically I'm inspired by so many things that I don't allow myself to just stick to one thing.
Yeah.
So that I'm still creative.
Yeah.
In everything that I do. So that's my main goal, to be constantly creative and to be constantly relevant in what I'm doing.
Do you have the same attitude towards music and films?
Yes.
Wow.
Towards everything. I don't stick to just one genre of anything.
Okay, I don't, for instance, like me, I read anything, but there's authors that I love and I will read them from back to front, but it doesn't stop me reading anybody else. So because like once you get into the style of writing, especially when maybe it's a series of books where there's a character, like maybe a detective character who goes through it all, that thing always pulls you into it.
Yeah, my younger daughter is exactly that way. So she has collections of various books that she will read.
How old is she?
She's now 16.
Okay, what is she reading?
She didn't actually tell me the title of what she's managed to get this time round, but I understand she's got some new books this week.
Oh, nice.
She will get it this morning and be finished by this evening.
Yeah.
So she didn't tell me the title, but she's got new books that
she's
reading.
But it's really amazing when I hear about young people reading, because people always get it with so many other distractions, for them not to. That alone time with yourself, with a book, and being able to disappearing,
focus and
focus without having other people to entertain you.
yeah.
You know, I think is an art that when I hear that people, I'm like, yeah. Okay, Franca. First question: what do you do? And give us the gamut of what you do as a creative.
So I love beads. I fell in love with beads probably from a very young age. My grandma used to dress us and make sure we always had jewelry on before we leave the house. If you weren't wearing earrings, you weren't leaving the house. As a result, I started to like the colors that I was, constantly being put in and all the rest of it. And then well, as I grew up, I started to see various beads, different styles, shapes, colors, and I started to just put them together. And I used to, for a long time, just say, I make beads. And then one day someone said, you don't actually just make beads, you actually are very artistic in what you do. So I started to say I am an artistic bead maker. Then it went on, and now I call myself a jewelry designer
Okay.
because I can actually put some pieces together where I haven't taken a sketchbook. I do it straight from my head.
All the time?
A lot of the time, it's straight from my head. So I'll start a piece that I have imagined. Like I said earlier on, from your top, I would have taken the colors from that and I'll start the piece. And as I'm building it, it grows in my head. So a lot of the stuff that I have made are straight from my head.
Okay. And so apart from I shouldn't say apart from beading as if that isn't enough, but what other creative, artistic things form part of your world?
Creativity wise, are we talking in terms of like cooking?
That's creative.
Yes, cooking. I don't cook from a cookbook. Ever.
Because I think one thing that's I reading up about you and even just talking is color. And one thing about food is
Color.
the creative, you can go really,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not just about the taste.
yeah,
It's about how it looks when you present the food.
yes,
So, and I'm part Fanti as well. And as you know, the Fantis have a way of presenting our food. It has to be colorful, it has to be rich looking, as well as taste good. So I tend to, I I can throw anything together in a second.
and it will taste good and look good.
It would taste good and look good. I'm going to blow my own trumpet on that one.
You might as well. Okay, so I mean, you've told us a little bit about. So you knew you wanted to work with beads from what age?
Probably from about 8, 9.
And never at any point did you think, I want to do something else?
I didn't probably think about doing anything else till I actually started university. Obviously, African parents, you have a set amount of career routes that you can take. Accountant, doctor, you name
Lawyer.
it. Yeah, lawyer, pick one. Um, so that sort of like pushed me towards the accountant, role. So I was working and I was studying to be an accountant for a while. And then obviously having my kids, I didn't finish being a student.
Okay.
And then after I had the kids,
It was
I
just
thought
like everything just
everything else became secondary. And I thought, well, I can't just sit on my hands because I've never been a still person. So with that, I then thought, well, I do love these beads. I might as well just pick them up. But before I had the kids, I was actually making beads and I was making pieces and people would wear them to various events and stuff like that. But I never really sort of like put it into a business.
Okay. Because I think there's also the thing of whether beading is a craft or an art.
It's an art.
You see, but normally you would think, well, God, I could string some beads together.
Everyone
that
can.
that kind. And so then you sort of think of it in the realms of crafting, like, anybody can. But when does it become art?
It becomes art when you love what you do. I can make a full piece and think, oh, that bit doesn't quite work for me, and take the whole thing off. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't love what you're doing and you're having to take the whole thing off, you're going to take it off and put it down and think, oh, I'll get back to it. But I can take it off on the basis that I'm in a hurry to get to create what I started to create, kind of thing. So, yeah, I think it becomes more than craft, because craft is what? Hobby?
Yes.
So it's not my hobby. I love what I do. I enjoy doing it. It's my therapy, when I'm working, it's my peace. Absolute peace of mind.
So you have like a studio?
Yes.
And what music do you play in your studio?
Amazing. I have an eclectic taste when
Good.
it comes to music.
I think most artists do.
So sometimes you're walking and I'm listening to classical music.
Okay.
Sometimes you're walking and I'm listening
Any
to...
specific classical music person?
No, I don't have a specific...
Okay, because I'm really into Puccini.
Okay.
And I love Verdi. Actually, I prefer Verdi to Puccini.
To Puccini.
Verdi's arias are like heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently actually got into the artist Sheku kind of Mason,
Okay.
and the way he plays and stuff like that. I can't remember the piece he played for the royal wedding.
Okay.
Um,
Yes, okay.
yes.
Yes.
But between him and his siblings, they played Redemption Song.
Yes. I think that piece he played, it wasn't a Beethoven.
No.
It wasn't a Beethoven, but I remember Yo-Yo Ma commenting on what he did.
Okay.
Yo-Yo Ma's like
Yeah.
a famous cellist as well. That was my instrument.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I got into how he plays.
Yeah.
And it kind of, sometimes you walk into my studio and he'll be on,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm playing in
And
my
then
studio.
when you have your Bob Marley day, you
And
have
then
your
I have,
Bob-
I have my Bob Marley day. I have my, requiem,
Yes,
mass
requiem.
requiems
Yeah.
day, and then
Yeah.
I have my gospel day, and, Kirk Franklin will do his
Will
thing
do
in
his
my
thing.
studio. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, what about your mother? I know your grandmother made beads. What did your mother do?
my mom is a chef.
And they still wanted you to be an accountant. Isn't it funny how they forget their own struggles and they get in their place? In your opinion, what's the importance of color?
I think
And sorry, hold on. And tell us about the psychological impact of it and what color tells us about ourselves, our mood, our energy.
I've started to look more at color now since COVID happened. For a very long time, my color was black and dark blue for a really long time. And I think that was from obviously working in London. The
Is it
conservative way to dress when you're going to work is
black or blue?
black or blue.
Gray. Yeah.
So I kind of stuck to those colors for a while, and my wardrobe just looked like that. And I actually, when I met my husband, I used to say my favorite color is black. And I started to understand now, after this whole COVID situation, that if your favorite color is black, then there's a dark side of you that
There's a somberness.
you just need to work
Working out.
yourself way out of. once I started to love color where beads were concerned, I started to see green as my favorite color.
But that's a calming color,
That's
isn't
right.
it?
And a lot of people will say I'm a very calm person to a degree. You
But
know,
you've got that vibe,
I've got that a
calm
little bit
vibe.
of
Yeah.
yeah. So I, you know, green was my color. I love color on people because I feel like your color, when you wear color, it brings something out in you. It changes the mood you're in. You know, when you're in London, the mood is grey because the weather's grey, your mood is down. When you're here in Ghana, the sunshine and, you know, the hustle and bustle, the
And the
cr-
colors
the colors
everywhere.
everywhere, everywhere, and it's
Because I mean, look at this
the
studio.
studio is gorgeous with
Yeah.
all these extra materials. You
Yeah.
know, African. You know, it's beautiful. I absolutely have started to love what my Africanness brings to the work that I do and brings to my life now, because it just brings color. When you think Africa, you think color.
Color. Color. And sometimes I used to study when I used to study in Cuba, and there were a lot of African students in Cuba, and we always used to laugh at the Namibians because they would throw every color under the sun together. And so it was, and you could see them coming a mile off, and we're like, God, these people, will they not even tone it down? But they were happy with their 5,000 colors
That's
on their
right.
body.
But
Yeah.
did you find it made them happy? Were they not happy people? A lot of people are
I-
happy when you see color.
I don't know. I think we were too busy. And of course, it also depends on your age. Because, like, if you're 15, 16, it's like, yeah, Charlie, these people are just disgracing us in somebody's country. You're throwing 5,000,001 colors. And what are they going to... And then, of course, once they think that of you, they think the same of
you.
us,
Yeah.
same of the rest of us. So we were more focused on the impact it was going to have on
you. Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
on somebody's opinion of us than, anything there. Okay, so what exactly is an accessory designer?
I've come to learn that an accessories designer can be bags, belts, hats, fascinators,
Okay.
and then come the earrings and the necklace and so on and so forth. I quickly had to understand that because I was put into the category recently of accessories brand when I was nominated for
Yes,
the
yes.
award. And when I saw the category, I said, hey, what's this? And then suddenly, I think it was one of my daughters who said, accessories, mummy. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course.
So before, what did you think you were doing?
So, you just never think of it. You just don't put
A
the title to it, kind of thing. Exactly. I knew I was making accessories, but I never added all the fascinators and the hats and things like that together with it. So I didn't think I would be in a category that sort of had everybody bundled in one.
Because I suppose it then becomes, if you've been nominated for an award, how do you compare somebody who makes jewelry with
hats.
somebody who makes hats?
Yeah.
How? What's the criteria?
That was what I was confused about mainly.
And have they clarified it for
And
you?
no, I didn't actually ask us. I didn't, you kind of don't want to rock. So, obviously I went along with it, and then the person who was doing it obviously had his own way of dividing the categories, and hence I became the next newcomer for,
Nice.
Yeah,
Congratulations. What did you win?
So I'm the new accessories brand in Accra, I should say, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And?
So that was my title. That's my title. The new accessories brand. And
no prize money.
no prize.
No plaque.
No.
Award.
I got I got a little certificate for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So something.
How how does that impact the visibility of your brand?
I'm hoping that kind of opens a few more doors. Obviously, coming from over there and then trying to set up here, I'm kind of hoping that it means that people now get to know who Phoenicia is. Um, the Phoenicia Accessories brand is trying to be in my home
Okay.
country.
Okay.
This is where I was brought up, and this is where I intend to settle. That was a long-term goal.
No, but I think that's usually it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You grow up here, you go and sojourn small, and
And
then
then you come back,
yeah,
and then when you come home, you realize that really and truly you should have never gone anywhere. This is home.
yeah, yeah. I think if you're lucky, that's the thing, because when you've gone and lived somewhere for a very long time, and it doesn't matter whether it's you left Africa to go to Europe, you could have left Europe to go to Latin America. Because, for instance, I was born and brought up in the UK, but I went and lived in Latin America for a long time. And when I returned to the UK, I couldn't live there. So, wherever it is. And so to be able to go somewhere and come back and find your way, obviously there are going to be difficulties. But for people who stay away for too long, sometimes it's very difficult to reintegrate.
It is difficult when you come back after many years. And
Yeah.
I've been away for many years. And it is difficult to reintegrate because especially as I didn't really go to school here. Well, what is known as school here is the senior part of going to
Yeah.
school. So, you
The
could
place
be
where you make all your friends
yes,
and
a
stuff.
Motowner or whatever, whatnot,
Wesley Girls
Wesley
and-
Girls or something. I'm not part of that gang.
Me neither.
Okay. If you say association round the corner, then yeah, I'm part of that gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, coming back, obviously you don't have any friends, kind of thing. You have to start again.
Yeah.
And if
And then
you're
get
not
to know-
personable, you're not going to be able to. And then you quickly have to learn about the culture of how
Yes.
friendships work.
And how business
And
works
how business
and how
works,
everything,
everything works, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Why are accessories important, and how do they add to an outfit?
I think if you wear a dress and the dress is plain, it's so important that you accessorize. You wear earrings, you wear a necklace, you wear a fantastic ring. Just, I think it gives that, it's almost like having that pop of color. If I wear a simple black dress, it has to pop with something. You just feel better. You just stand out of everybody else because you can look like everybody else very easily. You have to try and look like yourself. Hence the reason why a lot of my accessories is bespoke to the person. What is it? Meshia Minia.
Okay.
You don't get that with Phoenicia. Meshia Minia, for those who don't understand, Meshia Minia is like, I've met my sister.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
my relative. You shouldn't get that with Phoenicia because I make it different for everybody.
You shouldn't go and meet it anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you see? So if I've made it for you, I want you to stand out.
Yeah.
And I'll make it to the color that makes you stand out
And that adds into the confidence building as
of
well. Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
I recently made a piece for my friend, and she's in the US. And I posted her on my Instagram page, so anyone who goes on my Instagram page will see her. And you could see how she exuded with so much confidence as she was dancing to, and she sent me the video and I had to post it because she just looked amazing.
It just glowed her up.
And it brought the outfit that she was wearing right out, She looked amazing. So, yeah, I mean, accessorizing is important to every woman, actually to every man as well,
Yeah.
because I make men's
Cufflinkings.
cufflinks as well. And a lot of the time, the men who have worn my cufflinks have been stopped and asked, where do you get those,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Recently, the last person who was wearing a pair was my dad. At my sister's wedding, and people were asking him. He said, "My daughter, my dad, very proud man.
Yes.
My daughter makes it."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so imagine you have a little black dress. What's the right amount of accessories, and when have you over accessorized?
simplicity is always a good way to go. A little black dress can come in all shapes and sizes.
Yes.
And you have to wear according to the dress. You don't just wear according to the dress. I think you wear according to the person.
And maybe where you're going as well?
Exactly. Exactly. Because if you overdo it, you can easily lose the dress, you can easily lose the accessories that you're wearing. And then you fall into that thing of,
Everything's clashing.
yeah.
You don't know where to
You don't know
look.
where to look, is it the earring I'm looking at, or, kind of thing. As the photographers would say, there'd be a lot of noise around you and it's unnecessary. So I think accessorizing, you think about what you're doing, and that's where bespoke comes in. So
Okay, let's talk about process. So I come to you. Okay, first of all, what's the range of accessories you do? I mean, you've mentioned cufflinks,
make necklaces,
Uh-huh.
bracelets,
bracelets,
waist beads, anklets, rings,
necklaces.
earrings, anything else.
Okay, so then I come to you and I say, I want a necklace, a combo of two. I like necklaces and bracelets as opposed to necklaces and
And
earrings or
earrings,
stuff. So
yeah.
if I came to you and I said, I want you to design a necklace and a bracelet for me, what's the process?
So we talk about what you're wearing it with. That's the first thing, what you're wearing it with, where you're going, the season. Obviously, I come from seasons, so the season.
If I wanted something that would allow me to wear it with a few different things.
Then we talk about you and what makes you comfortable and how comfortable you want to be at all times, the kind of colors that you like,
Yeah.
and the kind of style of necklaces or bracelets that you like, and then we work from there.
Okay.
In that instance, I would try and sketch something
I
for
was
you.
going to ask whether at this point you
Yeah,
would.
at this point, I would sketch for you.
Because for instance, like say if I said, okay, I like my neck. I want something that would accentuate
Create
my
my
neck,
your neck area,
and my
over
shoulder
my shoulders,
area.
and yeah. Yeah.
So then what would you present to me if I just came with that brief?
I would sketch you something that would sit with you in terms of what your neck shape was. Because, I mean, I'm looking at you, you've got quite a slender,
Yeah.
very petite kind of. So I would have to understand that you wouldn't wear something that was overly going to take away from your cuteness.
Okay. Okay.
So, I would keep it simple because you want to wear it with, like, you want it to sit in an everyday situation.
Like, for instance, like maybe if I were wearing jeans with a white
red
t-shirt,
t-shirt, it would
something
fit
that I could
in.
rock with it,
Yeah.
but then maybe I go somewhere and I'm in a jumpsuit.
Yep. So we'd look at it in terms of I can do it in various ways.
Uh-huh.
Dinner, regular lunch with my girlfriends, you know, breakfast, lunch, you know, that kind of stuff. We'd look at it in that way.
Okay.
We'd look at it in terms of color. And again, obviously, I come from seasons, so I would have to look at seasons. When I'm here in Ghana, I probably don't have to look at seasons. I just have to look at the venue that you're going to be
Yes.
in,
Yeah.
and
And
whether
the-
or not it's going to be suitable for that. Yes.
venue.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, but then equally, you could have something that was like a lot of pizzazz, and it might not be for that venue, but you'll certainly stand out.
You will stand out, but then also it also depends. This is why I say I look at the person when I'm
Depends
making
the
something.
level of extraness you have.
Exactly. You know, there are ladies out there who can rock your stuff to the point that you just think, but it's only a little simple piece you've got in your neck, and yet they can make it really stand out. And I have clients who have worn pieces and have really stood out. I made one piece for a lady who was going to a wedding, and she just wanted a simple line across her neck. And I used some crystals, and I made like a little crystal necklace, and she wanted a bracelet to go with it, matching. And she just, when she took the pictures, you just saw the piece. You didn't see
anything else.
her dress was irrelevant. I mean, yeah, it was a beautiful dress. She looked amazing in it, but you just saw the piece, and she just
Carried it.
carried it so well. So you have to concentrate. This is why I love the word bespoke so much, because it just has to be to that person.
Like totally tailor made for them.
That's right.
Now you just mentioned crystals, and also we've mentioned beads. What's the range of materials that you work with?
So far, I've stuck to beads from anywhere I travel to, I'll get beads. I'll find a bead shop and enter it. In Ghana, I found that a lot of people don't know that we have some gorgeous
Yes.
beads. A lot of people don't know the range of like material that goes into the various beads. Yes, of course, we've got the old time beads from when, you know, the kings and queens were bartering with them.
Yes.
We've got
Because it was a
those.
form of currency.
It was a
at some
form of
point.
currency, yes. But now we've got the creative, you know, side of it, where people are throwing bottles together, grinding them to a powder, and then adding color and design to it. And we've got lots of that. And I fell in love with those, but yes, of course, they're heavy.
Yes.
So hence I started to experiment with adding crystals and adding seed beads. And where I can find, I mean, I've had pieces where I've used buttons,
Okay.
you know, alongside the beads, you know, to create a piece. Yeah.
So what's the most expensive material you'd use?
Swarovski crystals have been the most expensive so far.
Okay. Do you work in gold or silver?
No, I don't believe that, and I have a saying, it doesn't always have to be gold or silver.
Yeah.
You know, we've worn gold and silver for, you know, many years.
Some people have worn gold and silver for many years.
Yeah. We seem to always want to dabble in it when there's artistic things out there. You have to try. That's why I say I'm not loyal to one thing. I've got gold and silver I wear. I've got gold and silver that I would work with. But the findings of most of my stuff, I would try and use silver.
Because I was thinking of maybe like a piece where the base were silver or gold, and then the beads were built up into it.
That's a work in progress.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm certainly looking at for the future. I wouldn't rule it out as something I'm looking at in the future.
So, for instance, the cufflinks that you made for your dad, what were they made of?
It was actually made from a stone, semi-precious stone. And then I used seed beads to build the frame, so the bezel, and then obviously the cuffling back. Sometimes I have used an actual bead as the stop bead that pops into the back of the shirt.
Yes.
Okay. And then sometimes I've used sterling silver cuffling, actual cuffling backs, and put that in the back to pop into the shirt.
What do you do to, you said like you could use a bead at the back of it. What do you do to the bead so that it doesn't, I don't know, dry out or fall apart, or I mean.
So if you go on my page, you will see some of the little videos. I bead seed beads into a bezel. So the size.
What's a bezel?
A bezel is like the frame
Okay.
that the bead that you're doing sits in. So normally there are bezels out there, like sterling silver bezels, and if you look at those who do gold and silver, they set the stone into a silver.
Yes.
Yeah. So I take seed beads and I sew them one piece at a time and make the bezel myself. Then I sit the precious stone inside it to hold it, and then I sew the back to ensure that the cuffling piece that's going into the shirt will actually stay into the back without coming out.
Okay. Okay. On average, how long does it take you? Once a client has come and they said, I want A, B, C, D, how long does it take you to make it?
It can take anything from a week to 2 weeks to create a fantastic piece.
Yeah.
Depends on what it is that I am making. I recently started making glasses accessories, glasses chains, and that, yes, the chain, yeah, to ensure that you
the Dame Edna Average
chain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think those ones, I said we've seemed to have put those into like a Liberian kind of thing,
Yes.
that we don't want to wear it. We think it makes you look old and stuff like that. So I thought I'd make it funky. So I use seed beads.
Because I have some in a very bright purpley color, but I don't like the idea of my glasses hanging. I'd rather just take them off and put them down instead of having them hanging
On you.
around.
See, they're hanging on you. So like now I'm sitting here, you know, I haven't got my chain with me.
Yeah.
So I'm having to hold on to my glasses. And you tend to find that if you're busy, you search for your glasses when
When they're on your head.
yes, I've done that many times. And I think that was where the inspiration came from, that,
Yeah.
you know, something needed to be done. Then my sister challenged me and said, can you make? And I said, yes, I can.
Okay.
And that takes me, if I sit still, I can do that in 2 days. I can make one chain at least in 2 days if I sit still.
Okay.
2 days, because obviously I have to remember all the other elements of the day. You know,
Yes,
cooking,
of course.
cleaning, keeping a
all,
house. Yeah.
all the things. Okay, so for us to start wrapping up, what advice would you, somebody's heard you talking, what advice would you give somebody who wanted to start up their own accessory enterprise? Would you advise that they get some formal training? What are the artistic traits they need? What do they need to be successful if they want to go into accessories?
Just do it. Just do it. I didn't go to school to learn. There's, at least now, compared to when I started, there's YouTube.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. It's like, you know, not knowing how to do your makeup, you go on YouTube, someone's doing it. So you'll be able to do it.
How do you make it successful though? Because you can go, obviously the person doing it on YouTube also has a marketing strategy and
course.
everything behind them. They're monetizing on it. How then do you...
Hard work. Go do the work. Put the work in. You have to put the work in. I haven't stopped working. I work. I don't work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I work from my eyes open to my eyes closed.
Well, that as an entrepreneur,
That's it.
That's
yeah.
it.
So you have to put the work in, and you have to be intentional in what you're doing. You know, you have to be intentional. If you're not intentional, you're not going to make it successful. There isn't anyone out there holding their hand out to give you a hand up
Not-
the ladder. Yes, not in Ghana.
Not
I
here.
don't, but yeah, there isn't. You have to intentionally go out there and get it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's for the greater good of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna. No one's gonna help you. You
Yeah.
have to do it, and don't expect anything from anybody.
And I also think that also don't expect it to be successful instantly.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be successful instantly.
And
you
you're
have
going to
to.
want to give up at some point, but you've got to
Don't.
push yourself.
You have to push yourself.
Yeah.
You have to do all the groundwork yourself. You have to hold your own hand. There are going to be days where you just think, oh, let's say I've had enough. I can't do it. I mean, look, I've been looking for where to stock my stuff here in Ghana, and that has been absolutely difficult because, like I said, there isn't anyone
Storage,
who
there
would
isn't.
see, you know, a future in having your stuff and their stuff in the same space. Especially now we've had COVID, everybody wants their stuff in their space. They're not
Yeah.
going to add yours. They're not
Yeah.
going to understand that, you know, yours could bring your clientele, you know, to their space
I
too.
think maybe in their mind is you're going to come and take away their clientele. Is the thing. I mean, where do you sell?
So at the moment, I'm still looking for stockists, and I've been
Okay, so
doing
you would place them
in different locations,
Yeah.
different shops. But I've been selling a lot via my social media,
Okay.
in Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
I have my own website
Yeah.
as well, so a lot of people have been able to
There.
go there. And then I have had a small clientele for a while, and word of mouth has worked.
Yes, that's a big deal.
Yeah, a lot of people who have worn my pieces have taken pictures and posted it on their own handles,
spread the
and that
word.
has spread the word, and you know, it's kept me going. Yeah.
And I think it's also maybe something that, you know, it's something that you just want a piece of it. Something, you know, that you always have that piece.
Yeah.
So for instance, like I really like Tuareg jewelry.
Okay.
And I have like a couple of pieces I bought when I went to Timbuktu. It's like wood and silver.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those, you know, they're my pieces for when I, you know, go to certain places.
yeah.
Just pop them on. Okay. So wrapping down, what's the strangest brief you've had for a piece?
I don't think I've had any strange.
You've never had anyone come to you with a crazy idea for something where you've had to tone it down for them?
No. I mean,
Or mostly they rely on you to...
yeah, it's never. I think if you look at it as, you know, oh, that's crazy, you forget that the person should have a say in what they're going to wear. Nothing's ever too crazy. Nothing's ever too
Nothing's
crazy.
good for you to say,
No.
this one, let's tone it down.
because
Okay.
that's your preference. I have
Will
to.
you make it?
Yes, I will make it.
And tell them don't use my name.
No. I will make it. I will make it for you. If you have, I would work with the craziest ideas to the
Yeah.
the best ideas.
Yeah.
I will make it for you. If you want to wear eggshells around your neck, I will put it together for you.
Nice.
You know,
Actually, that could look actually very nice.
could look amazing.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of color on it.
Yeah, yeah. And then like, yeah, if it were all packed
Together.
Yeah. What is your must-have accessory?
Earrings.
Earrings. Why?
Earrings. I think for girls, when I came to Ghana, I understood straight away, because some of my pieces I make, like you would say, you wanted necklace and a bracelet. A lot of people want necklace and a bracelet. I came to Ghana and the first thing that they were asking was, where are the earrings? So I quickly had to get into earrings. I think when you're somebody who probably looks like me, short hair, natural, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you've got a big pair of earrings on, so
Okay.
that you stand out.
Yeah. Actually, when you have short hair, big earrings are absolutely
The must.
absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, what designer are you most inspired by and why? And if you were to meet that person, what would you want to learn from them?
I think Vivian Westwood.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
Vivian Westwood. I mean, what's not to learn from her? I think I like her because I was worried for a long time about how old I was, starting into the business now. And then someone like that inspires you to think there is no age to success, kind of thing. She inspires me by her crazy ideas that she makes into colorful fashion.
yeah,
You know, she. I don't know. There's so
yeah.
much you can say about Vivian Westwood.
I read an article. They recently did an article not about her, but her husband, who's her collaborator.
Okay.
And it was very interesting. I think he's now going to come out with his own
Range.
his own range, but
Okay.
he's always been like the supporter. And then I think
Behind it.
there's like a 20 to 30 age year difference between them. So
Okay.
the interview was very interesting about
The
the
dynamics
mix of
between them. Yeah.
but they've been together for like forever. It's true. Finally, what are your social media handles? Where can people see your work?
So if you type Phoenicia into Instagram, you'll find me on Instagram. If you do Phoenicia Jewelry, you'll find me on Facebook.
But that people is capital F,
F.
capital N, capital E, small TIA. Don't be doing FINE or or thinking Felicia and then putting an
It's
N
not
in there.
Felicia. If you always remember Francis Nubia Egyptia, you'll get there.
There. Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's on Instagram,
Facebook,
and
and
then
then my website is Phoenicia.com.
and where can they go to see the pieces live? Like if you're, I mean, is there anywhere?
Again, like I said, I'm still looking for
For
stockists.
Okay.
The place that I intend to have live
Yeah.
is Ghana first. So, this is home. It's gonna happen here first.
Okay. So, so people, that's the social media. I started with a quote before you came, and I would like your take on this. A world without color is an impossible conception. It would be a world of mental darkness, of frustration, and no other gifts of civilization could in any wise compensate us for the loss of chromatic values. We should go mad in a colorless world.
Very true. Very true. Where would Africa be?
Where would anywhere be?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's very true. I love it.
I-
I may just request that you send that. I add that to my
yeah,
my quotes.
yeah. I mean, because for me, there's like, I just think of food. First thing, food. Could you imagine food was just grey? Everything was just grey. It was just like really horrible. So there you have it, folks. Color makes the world a better place.
It really does.
And we would all go crazy if we didn't have colors. As always, a big thank you to the listeners for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation, learned something new. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. This is like really, you came in and said you were like really nervous.
I
But,
was.
see how simple it was. And of course, much love to my techie here, AB, who puts everything in place. It runs smoothly so that the conversation can flow. So thank you so much for taking the time out to join us.